is a Saturday evening here in Sydney, Australia, where I am going to be setting up my September planner pages in my A5 Filofax Camden Organiser. So I'm going to go back and forth wherever it takes me, whatever where my mind takes me, and I'll take you along with me. So hopefully you can get some ideas and inspiration if you are also setting up your planner pages for the new month. So this is the Camden Organiser in the color olive. It is a great big 30 millimeter ring planner, so it can fit quite a lot. And the great thing with this is it has these side pockets that you can actually slip in an A5 notebook just like this one. So I'll go through everything individually and make sure that it is all set up correctly. And then the great thing as well is the ring planner mechanism. It is removable. So then if you wanted to just have it as a cover for any of your A5 planner or notebooks, you can do that. You can fit in 2 notebooks if you wanted, but I like having the option to have a ring planner pages as well as A5 notebooks or anything else that you want to put in there. And so with that amount of planner pages as well as notebook, and then the cover itself is quite wide enough to go around all of that without any strain on the snap closure right here. So you've got a hybrid little A5 setup if you have a nice A5 notebook, and you also want to have the flexibility of having ring bound planner pages as well. So if you are here joining me today, I am Marianne, and through my own planning, habit tracking, self-care and everything else in between, I hope you can get some inspiration and ideas that'll help you move you from overwhelm, burnt out, stress, anxious, all the feelings you may have when it comes to your planning and your tasks and to do, and intentionally planning, habit tracking, and putting in some joyful self-care, because that is very, very important that we do not forget about ourselves. So if you have any questions at all, please do let me know. Pop them in the chat. I will answer them as I go along, and then make sure that if you have any suggestions as well, or what you are doing for September, share it with me, share it with the Plannerettes community, and we can have a great time. So what I have here with my planner pages, I've actually taken bits and pieces of my A5 Ultimate Planner bundle, so I'm not going to be using all of them at the same time. So let me see if I can pop that in the chat right now. So the Ultimate Planner bundle is an A5 planner printable that has a cover page, a calendar, habit and mood, sleep tracker, well-being planner pages, enough for 5 weeks, so enough for a month, and 5 weeks worth of weekly planner spread, as well as daily pages, again, to last you a whole month. But for September, I am going to be using only some of those pages, because I am also going to be using my personal size planner, and this is where I will house my mood log, my well-being planner spread, weekly spread, and my daily planning. So if you haven't seen my latest or my most recent live where I did a planner swap from my Malden organizer to this Filofax Croc organizer in the color chestnut, and I did a flip through of all these pages and everything else that I have in here, make sure you check that out after today's live stream. All right, so let us get going. So what do I have? First of all, I have my Wheel of Life goals tracker. So this Wheel of Life is based on Zig Ziglar's 7 key areas of focus, where he says you want to be trying to do, 1 or 2 little small actionable habits and routine in these 7 key areas. And in no particular order, they are mental, physical, spiritual, home or family, finance, career, and social. And so what happens is, if any of these key areas of focus is a high priority for you for the month of September, or if you may have neglected, any of these areas from previous months, and it matters to you, and you want to work at it, then you may want to focus on creating goals for yourself. So then that way, the wheel, so pretend this is a wheel. If you neglect certain areas too often or for too long, then that side of the wheel will be flat. And of course, when we have a flat wheel, it doesn't function properly. So it's really important that you may only have 1, 2, or 3 goals for the month of September, but make sure later throughout the year that you are not neglecting any of these for too long. So today I'm going to go and set up my goals with you. A lot of them will be very simple, small, actionable steps that are achievable, and so it's not going to put a lot of strain on myself when I am planning and doing my day-to-day tasks. So for the first one, I am going to, where is my pen? Here it is. I'm going to use today the Filofax friction erasable pen. The barrel is the limited edition, so this one is black ink. So look, for the month of September, I've started reading a book. I won a book. I printed out a book cover. I'll show you why I did that. This is Lean Learning by Pat Flynn. So I won this book as part of a workshop I did with Ecamm. So Ecamm, not a sponsored post, but Ecamm is the software that I use to go live stream just like this, as well as create my recorded videos. And it's also what I use in conjunction with Zoom when I go or I have meetings in my private membership. So this is the thing, that the production that you see here that makes it all pretty and presentable. So for the month of September, I'm going to read. So I'm not going to go and say finish, because I just read, about 5 to 10 minutes of whatever book, or if I'm learning. So for my mental well-being, the goal for September is read. So I'm going to put read, lean learning by Pat Flynn. So I'm interested to read that, because in that book, from what I have heard about it, because I've just started reading it, is you do not need to know everything for you to make a start on any projects or hobbies, which is a trap I have fallen myself into, where I think I need to know everything first before I can make any movement on whatever project I want. So lean learning is, you only need to know enough to be able to take action or take the first step. And so I need to do that, because I'm always thinking, I got to know all the things. Everything's got to be in the right place at the right time, 100%, for me to even make any action or take any action. Also, I am doing an online course by Ali Abdal. So I'm going to continue in implementing whatever challenges that's part of that. So I continue the 1K challenge by Ali Abdal. So that one's a little bit easier in reaching the goal, because there's weekly meetings, there's weekly courses, or workshops that he does. So if I just follow along and do the challenges and do the action steps that is required for that week, then I'll just do the best I can with the knowledge I have and the energy and capacity I have at the time. So not making myself too worried about things. Okay, so if you are here, make sure you say hello. Don't be shy. You can let me know where you're tuning in from. So I am here. It is a Saturday evening, nearly 7 p.m. So this is my little Saturday night now. Okay, so for my goals, for my physical well-being. So I actually have created a goal with my Plannerettes Inner Circle membership, where we said, look, we're going to have one focus for the month of September. So this is the one where I'm really going to make sure I do my best to add movement, workout, and getting myself outside. So let's have a look. I'm using my Kuretake Zig Clean Color Dot marker, and the one end is the sponges, which is what I'm using here. So the things I want to do is stretch in the morning. Stretch in the morning. So I've been doing that, consistently, if not every day, very, consistently. Also been doing 11 push-ups, 11 push-ups plus 11 squats. And then the thing I want to start for the month of September, or actually I started today, is do Pilates 3 times per week, because I really need to add more intentional movement and more workout in my week, because it's really important that, I turned 50 at the beginning of the year, 3rd of January, and somehow, you turn 50 and everything starts creaking and everything starts aching. Last week, I really had lower back ache, and I think it took me 3 to 4 days to get better, but I know if I'm making sure I'm adding movement, walking outside, light strength training or weights, or, Pilates, then it'll be, if I do have any aches and pains, then I can recover from it a lot quicker. So for my spiritual well-being, so this is something I've been doing for a long while. I haven't been consistent with it for August, so I want to make sure I pick it back up. And this is doing meditating in the morning using my Headspace app. Okay, so that has just a guided meditation Headspace app. Okay, so for me, a spiritual is about being mindful, focusing on the breathing. So then when I do have those anxious thoughts and anxious moments, being a mum of now an 18-year-old and a young son, 16, who's on the autism spectrum, a lot of, anxious thoughts and self-doubt and limiting beliefs, pop in my head. And I have found that meditation was a great way for me to acknowledge those feelings, emotions, and maybe intrusive thoughts, and then just let it go, and then have the ability and build the skill to focus on something that's, in the moment, which is breathing in and breathing out. So then that helps me not get stuck in my own head, because once I'm stuck in my own head, it brews, and then it can get me quite low and quite down. So I want to make sure for the month of September that I am, focusing on my meditations in the morning. Now for the home, again, another very small, very doable routine in the morning is doing my 5-minute tidy up, 5-minute tidy up. So I'll just either put, 5-minute timer on my phone or my Apple Watch, and then whatever I spot that needs clearing, that needs tidying up, that needs putting away, I just put the timer on for 5 minutes, clear the dining table, clear my desk space area, I'll put the laundry away or empty the dishwasher, whatever it is that has a clear start and finish, that there's some sort of transformation. So then that is a nice little win that I could start tallying for my day at the beginning. And then so that's what I want to do for home. So for you, it might be, something for the family. So whatever it is in the home situation, whether family or home, have a think of, is there anything that I would like to achieve in the month of September that will, put that home or my family as a top priority. Again, it doesn't have to be a major goal or a major task. Keep it small, keep it simple. So if you watch my podcast episode about how you can build habits even when you're exhausted, it's about making the action steps so tiny and so easy to do that it's very hard to say no to it, to take action. Okay, so now the other key area of focus based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life is, first of all, I need to get back at logging our expenses. So I haven't been keeping an eye on our expenses. It's not so much that I'm spending a lot, so we're actually quite good and have been, oh, what's the word I'm trying to say? Been keeping our expenses to a minimum or just the bare minimum and not having too much, frivolous spending. But there are some things that can creep up that we need to keep an eye on. And so I want to make sure. So I'm actually going to start tracking expenses and just track. No need to change any of our budget categories or the amounts for each categories. I just want to get back into the habit of tracking the expenses or the spendings we've done, and then be able to see which budget category do we need to, maybe we need to tweak our grocery budget. So at the moment, we spend $300 a week on groceries. Maybe we need to make that a little bit higher. But because I don't know what we've been spending on, with all things getting more expensive and everything, the things that you used to buy, and now a lot of times are double the price. So I want to be able to know, is our as an example, is our grocery budget on par with what we need? So rather than oh yeah, let's just spend and keep spending, are we on track? Are we spending too much, or are we not spending enough? So for me to tweak the budget for each category, I need to know how much we're spending. So I want to go and start tracking. And I think for that one, I'll print out my expense tracker. I haven't printed it out yet because I thought, what, it's a good start to just keep an eye on the spending. Now for career, so career, of course, for me is my content creation. So I want to be able to, on YouTube, do my 1 times live stream. So I, minimum, I stream my plan with me on my Monday. For those of you who watch me from the US, it is your Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. So I want to make sure I keep doing that. One minimum, again, 1 podcast episode. Okay, and then I want to work on opening or launching to the public my plannerettes, my private membership, to the public, my plannerettes inner circle membership. So it is open. Currently, doing all the stuff now. We have weekly brain dump and weekly resets. We have weekly Zoom meetings where we dive in further. So if you've been watching any of my episodes or any of my videos, we deep dive into those and have we work on the personal goals. We work on worry logs and more in-depth journaling. We work on creating once a month fun little crafty things. So last for August we made these what we're calling our self-care or take a break beads. So we made a few different ones, and so I think for September maybe we'll be using polymer clays and create little trinkets, little planner trinkets that we can add into and embellish maybe our pencil cases or our keychains. So I'm yet to lock that one in. So we're doing not just about planning, but we're creating a community where we can connect, celebrate wins, you know, celebrate, share struggles, and just know that however we are feeling, we are not alone. Because a lot of the times, the burden of being overwhelmed, feeling a little bit anxious, and feeling stressed out is, you know, highlighted when you are doing it alone, when you are not, you know, sharing the burden. I don't know if I have, I think I have here. So I do have a wait list. So if you are wanting to find out when I open up the Plannerettes Inner Circle to the public, you can scan that QR code, or let me see if I think, do I have it here? I think the wait list is there. Oops, so that one probably, the early bird access actually has been, let me just go and it has been closed for the moment. Let me just remove that. But yes, scan that QR code and then you can join the wait list and find out when I open it up to the public. Okay, and then for social, so social again is very, very important. Connecting with your friends, connecting with loved ones, whether that's DMing, FaceTime, sending them funny memes, or, you know, sharing funny videos that you know they'll think they'll, you know, they may bring them joy, or you know, catching up for coffee or dinner, or just anything that does not leave you isolated. Okay, because as humans, we're not supposed to be alone. We're supposed to be part of a tribe, because, you know, our brain is still, you know, prehistoric setting that we need to be part of a group, because you're in a group, you survive a lot longer. You, you know, so think of caveman days, right? If you're on your own, you got to fend for yourself. You got to go and fight the saber-toothed tiger all by yourself. But when you're in a group, you feel supported, and you feel you don't feel alone. So for me, I'm going to continue, you know, connecting with loved ones. And so just having that in my habit tracker, you know, it'll remind me, have I, you know, talked to anyone today? Have I, you know, sent anyone a DM or a message? Or have I shared anything that I think they would find funny, or also get a kick out of? So connecting with loved ones is so important. If you are feeling a little bit alone, you know, just sending someone a text or calling someone can help, not only help your spirits up, but also help their spirits, connecting with loved ones. So those are my goals for the month of September. All right, so here, let me pop that. Let me put, what color can I put here? I'm going to put September. Okay, so I just use the fine tip end of my zebra mildliner to create my little headings, and then I will use my 0.38 Muji gel pen and just outline the edges. So this is just one of my, you know, easy go-to colorful headings. So you don't have to have any fancy skills to create these hand lettering, because it's your handwriting. So write the way you would normally write. The only difference is you're going to use a marker. So whether you all write it in lowercase or in uppercase, just write as per normal. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, and then to make it pop on the page, outline it with a black ink, and you will see how nicely it looks on your page. And then look, creating all these different in different color, it just looks like, you know, those fancy fonts that you would get like in Canva, or the ones you purchase. And the beauty is, it is unique to you because it is your writing. All right. Okay. So that is my goals for the month of September. Now, a lot of these are very, very simple. Some of them only take, a few minutes. My meditation on my Headspace app, I've set it only to about a 5 to 6 minute a meditation guide. The reading, I normally just do, I put it for 10 minutes because I know for me, if I read any longer than that, I'll read the same line over and over again, and then it won't come, it won't stick, it won't enter my mind. So I know my limit, and a lot of times with any of the non-fiction book or, self-help books, I like to also write, keynotes. So a lot of the times, the 10 minutes, I read a bit and then I'll write a bit, and then that helps me retain the information a lot better because you'll read it and then you have to send, your brain has to send a message to your hand to write it down, and then you read it again. So essentially you're reading something 3 to 4 times, and that is a really good way to help retain the information. So if you, even a mental goal could be, if you want to learn about a topic that you may not know anything about, and I know if I had the time I'd love to know a little bit more about geography, because I'm not very skilled or where different countries are. So apart from your major countries and cities, everything else I'll be like, where is that on the map? So and then the social connection, again, an easy text, sending someone an emoji. My best friend from high school, sometimes I'll just send her a heart, just so then she knows I'm thinking about her. Okay. And then again, 5 minute tidy up. So if you are at the moment moving into September, and September is going to be a busy season for you, just focus on one goal. You don't have to have 7 goals like I do here. A lot of these things I have already been doing, let's see, since when did I start bullet journaling and doing a planning in this way, and habit tracking? So 2017, what's that, 8 years. So for the first 3 years, it took me a long time to, stick to meditation. But the more you do it in small, simple steps, you'll get there. So if you are ever in a position, whether you're new to planning, or you're stuck in a rut, or you're feeling down on yourself because you make your habit trackers at the beginning of the month and you don't action it, don't fret. A lot of these have taken me, 3 to 4 years of just doing it again, falling off the wagon, pick it back up. Let's do it a little bit better. Let's pick up again when we drop the ball again. So just this is just a really good way to remind me, especially, is okay, don't let your mental well-being not be, not do any reading at all for the month of September, because we know how important it is to keep your mind active, to keep, dementia and Alzheimer's and all those, at bay. So keep your brain ticking, whether it's reading, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, learning how to knit, learning how to sew, whatever it is. Hello, Pink. Nice to see you. I'm watching you this morning from the UK. Excited to get my planner ready for September. I could be Madam as well, Madame Marianne. Thank you so much. Yeah. Normally, the Marianne is 2N, but I appreciate that you have spelt it, with 1N. And let me tell you, the Marianne spelt that way because I think when my mum was naming me, she was telling me, and I think my grandma as well, with numerology, how I don't know exactly what number my name adds up to, but she said 2N's, the number didn't add up properly with all my other names, my middle name and my last name. So yeah, Marianne with 1N. So, but it's okay if no one ever spells it correctly, because it is one of these things, So that is my Wheel of Life goals tracker for the month of September. Again, hello, Susan. How are you? I am well. Did you happen to find the UK Filofax site? Yep, so at the top corner, because I did see your comment, yeah, that's where you can pick the different sites. So hopefully you were able to find it. So then that's my wheel of life. So I'm going to use this as a base to write down the habits and routines that I want to set for myself for September. So I'll keep that on hand. And then at the back of this printable, again, this is part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable. I think I do have it in Happy Planner Classic and letter size as well, but this is the A5. The back of it, there is a mid-month check-in. So what I'll do when it comes to about the 15th of September, I'm going to have a look at how well I'm doing with the habits that I've set for myself at the beginning of the month and see, you know, is it still important to me? Should I keep going for the rest of September? Or look for the moment, you know, do I have too much on my plate, and maybe some habits and routines I need to just, you know, put a pause on it until later on. So having a mid-month check-in allows you to pivot, allows you to, you know, motivate yourself, that keep going if you're doing a great job, or to leave it all together until maybe later down, you know, later in the year. Just because you have set yourself goals for the beginning of the month, if things are a little bit more difficult halfway through, you can change your mind. That's right. It is your goal. It is your plan. It is important that you do what fits within your lifestyle in that moment. Now, however, if you say to yourself that, look, physical and adding movement to your day is very important, that it is high priority and it matters to you. If you know that maybe you're having health issues and you need to make sure that you're adding some sort of movement and exercise or workout, and yet, you know, maybe you haven't been achieving it for the first half of the month, then you got to ask yourself, how can I make it easier for myself so then I am achieving it? So that's what, why it is important to don't leave it till the end of the month to, you know, do a review or a reflection or a check-in, right? No, I didn't. Oh, okay, so yeah, so I did answer your question about the Filofax UK site, but if you just go to their filofax.com, top right hand corner, there's a little flag, and then you'll be able to choose which country that you want to go and look at. All right, so then for the month of September, so the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable has a dotted blank cover page. So normally this will just be dots, light dots, but this printable, so September, it is a freebie. So if you want to create a little cover page or a dashboard to, you know, separate your planner pages for September, you can grab this printable. So keep wait till the end, and then I will let you know how you can grab this freebie, and then I'll send it straight to your inbox. And then that way you can print it. Now, it is only one size, but if you want to print it for Happy Planner Classic or letter, it's still the same. All you got to do is change your printer preference and paper size, and then you'll print it for whatever page size that you want, okay? So in this instance, that's how normally it will be. It's just plain. But if you want, I was going to do different doodles and different you know, drawings, but I didn't have the capacity or the energy. So I thought, what is something that's simple, easy, and quick to do? So if you watch me, if you follow me on Instagram, there is actually a reel, very fast-tracked reel, that shows you all you got to do is pick, you know, in this case it's just one color, but I'll show you you know, a few steps. Let's do orange, and as you can see, all it is lines and dots and tracing, lines, dots, and trace. and that is it. So you can keep the color, you can pick it as just a nice muted color, or if you want it quite vibrant, let's pick an orange, okay? And then you just start at the top, and then for me, instead of just all straight lines, what I've done is, see how you can see that there's little, I've broken it up and like little, lines, dots, lines and dashes. So then if you are, don't write straight, it can be forgiving, because it's not a straight line. So then I just follow the top edge as my first guide, and then just, line, dot, 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 line, dot, and then line, dot, 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 line. And so just, change it up. You can have the lines further apart or closer together. And so really just glide your marker, and then, and as you can see, that went off a little bit, but that's okay, because when you then go and do the next line, it won't matter, because it's all going to be like organic line, it's not supposed to be straight line. And then you can just go and continue on, and you can even do different thickness. You can even make your lines all wobbly. All right, so you would continue that right to the end, and then that just gives you a nice little background. And then using the same tip, and you just create random dots inside the block letter. You can even, if you want, make the dots a little bit bigger and make it, the circle a little bit wider. It's up to you. Decorate it the way you want. I think I have a video where I did April, and we did, different doodles, different kind of drawings. So I'll make sure to pop that in the link below. Let me write it down, or else I will forget. Doodle session. Okay, so if you want to get inspiration on different ways to embellish your pages. And the great thing with this, again, did you ever think planning as a self-care activity? Yes, because self-care means you are stopping intentionally, putting time for activities that you enjoy. Now, of course, if you don't enjoy planning and embellishing your planner pages, this may not be a self-care activity for you, but it gives you an opportunity to be mindful. So mindfulness is just, I had to actually look up what mindfulness was all about, because sometimes these phrases, these hashtags, and I'm just going, what does that actually mean? What does mindfulness actually mean? All it is focusing on the moment right now, not worrying about the past, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or getting worried about the future. What ifs, what will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do that? Okay, so mindfulness is just giving yourself an activity that makes you focus for right now. That could be gardening, that could be painting, that could be coloring in, that could be choosing, washi tapes to go and embellish your planner pages. So that is why it wasn't until probably only a couple of years ago that I looked at my planning and embellishing as a self-care activity, because it's, whether I take 20 minutes, half an hour to, set up my planner pages, but it's that time is just for me. It is something I enjoy. It is something that I like doing. Okay, so you would continue on with the lines. You can have little dots, or you can have little stars, or whatever you like, little maybe dashes like confetti. You can make it different colors. And then for the September, I just go and outline the cursive writing. So it makes it look like it's neon, neon. And then, that's it. So something very simple, something very easy. And then of course, if that orange line was all throughout, this will make it pop even more. And so that's I chose pink for my cover page. And then on Instagram, when I did, I did an example, I chose sort of like this teal or aqua color. You can pick whatever, or you can, the blank page, you can embellish it any way you want. If you want, you can just go and add little stickers all over the place, especially if you have a lot of sticker stash that you haven't used, or those one-offs that you sort of can't fit in your planner page, or it's was part of a theme and it doesn't go with anything. That's a good opportunity to use up any stickers that's been sitting there a while, and then you can go and embellish your September cover page. So make sure you stick around and I'll let you know how you can get that. I'll make sure to do that within the next, let's see, I'll put my timer on. My Apple Watch is dead. I haven't charged it yet. Okay, I'll put a timer on. So I'll make sure, because I know not everyone can stick around. So let's have a look. Let's see. 10-minute timer on the clock. Okay, so let me put that on 10 minutes, and then I'll make sure to go and let me see if I have the link for it, so then I can quickly put it on the screen. Let's see. I don't have it, but I'll make sure I'll get it. Let's see. Okay. See, this is what happens when you're live and you're on the fly. You go and do, oops, sorry. Well, anyway, if you wanted to have a look at the my Amazon affiliate link for the Kuretake Z Clean Color Dot Marker, my Zebra Mild Liners, and any of my, there we go, I'll have that ready. I will have this link ready later on. Okay, so once that timer is up, I'll make sure for those of you that want to grab this September cover page, it is a free printable. So I send this out every month, or for the new month. So if you are part of my newsletter email subscription, you'll also get it through there. But sometimes my email newsletter is on, normally send it on a Sunday. And so if you need to have it before then, I'll make sure to give that to you in 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay, so the other thing that I have, I'm going to have for the month of September, as part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle, is I'm going to have the calendar in my A5. For August, I did have it in my personal size planner, but what I've found is when I'm working on my daily task and daily page, I'm forever sort of like flipping back. So because I'll have the A5 opened, and then the calendar always in view, rather than having to flip back and forth. So what I might do is I'm going to take this out, because I'm going to embellish it. So I'm going to show you a little, let's have a look. How am I going to go? And I wanted to make sure, I wanted to have September go through the whole page. I normally just label this here, and then I'll put a washi tape, but I thought I'd do something different. So I have a scrap piece of paper, and then I'm going to use again the Zebra Mild Liner, continue my rainbow theme. Please let me know, whoever's here, if the music is okay. Just give me the thumbs up, as in it's not too loud, or maybe you can't even hear it. It's just sometimes when it's quiet, it's sort of like, I can hear echo in my head. All right, so what I'm going to do, so then it's all uniformed. Let me go and just use the width of this ruler to keep all my letters the same size. So if you are here in the chat, make sure you say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I know this is an impromptu. Thank you, Pink. Yep, music is okay. All right, so let me zoom in a bit. I might take this away for a second so it's not, we have a clear background. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna write out the September letters individually and I'm gonna cut it out. So then that way I can evenly space, like, and then glue them, evenly space them across both planner pages. So I'm just going to do, and I'm just going to make it a bit thicker because it's a little bit bigger. So S, and then leave it a bit of space. So because if I'm cutting it out, I don't want it to be too close to each other. Again, this is just going to be your handwriting style. So there is no right or wrong way to go and write the letters if it's your pretty handwriting. Now, I don't want any of you to say, but my writing is not neat or pretty. When they're individual like this, and then, you know, you make it a little bit organic looking, as in doesn't have to be, you know, perfectly the roundness, because I think a lot of times when we look at other people's penmanship, when we look at other people's penmanship, we see that how, you know, that it's pretty because they're all like, you know, parallel to each other. The round letters are all the same, uniform, September. Okay, so don't worry here at the moment that, you know, it's like, ah, she's running out of space, because I'm going to cut them out. September. Where's the other color? Blue, September, and then let me make sure that, again, use my ruler. So yeah, so this is a great way, you know, if you're watching a favorite show as well, you know, if you have that in the background, and then write out your letters, and then we're gonna cut them. So 2, 4, 6, 7. So let's do another yellow, or actually September. Okay. Or if you have stamp, okay, you can also use, you know, if you have letter stamps, or even if you have letter stickers, then you can do that. And then here I'm just, look at that, right? So you might go, oh, that's so colorful, and then that's the beauty of your own handwriting, is you can make it as quirky as you can. So then just grab a pair of scissors. Well, I was actually going to leave a white space around it, so then I didn't have to trace each color perfectly, but it worked out that I am cutting around it. Okay, so this might take a little bit of time, but the beauty is, again, if you have found yourself at the end of the week feeling burnt out, feeling like, oh my goodness, you know, I feel like I was just catching up with my day at work, feel like I didn't complete everything I wanted, you're just spent, you know, you're just like exhausted. This is a good way for you to go and just take time for yourself. And you know what you're doing? You are training your brain to notice that I am important. And then you're going to see the benefit of taking time for yourself, because first of all, you're going to reset, you're going to re-energize, and then, you know, especially if your mental, physical, and emotional well-being is just, you know, you've just had enough, you know, the rest is going to then, for the new week, make you feel better because you've had the rest. because a lot of times, you know, we've had a busy week and then we go again for the weekend. I know for those, you know, mums with a young family, and then their kids, you know, you're driving them to their different activities over the weekend, and then you go and do your chores and do your laundry, and you just go, Marianne, there is no time for like dilly-dallying, right? There's no time to just sit down and look after myself, or I'll take care of myself once everything is done. Tell you what, when you take care of yourself, all the things on your to-do list you will be more effective and you will do them more efficiently when your tank is refilled. But when it is empty, right? What happens when your car is on empty? Yeah, first of all, it makes you anxious when that little needle is on empty. It's like, how many more minutes until, you know, or how far can I go with it at that empty until I get to the next gas station or petrol station. Okay, so it will make you anxious. And then that's what happens to us when we're on empty, because it's like, I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I need to catch up. And then your weekend is spent feeling anxious because you're like, oh, I got to do the laundry, I got to do this for the kids, I got to do the groceries. And then Monday comes, it's like you didn't even take a rest. There it is. There's my alarm. Let me show you how you can get the September free monthly cover page printable. Yes, yes, Pink, me too for a long time. But I've found, and it's only through practice, like any habit, taking time for yourself is a practice. Because, you know, for a long time, we have put everybody else's emotion, needs before ours. Because, you know, as mothers, as wives, as an employee, we think, we have to take care of everybody else before we go and, tend to ourselves. So let me just write this down. Free September monthly cover page. So if you haven't yet, paste. If you haven't yet printed your own copy or grabbed your own copy, there it is. So let me show you. This is that one. Okay, so the September, and then you can color and embellish it any way you want. So that's for that one. You can put that and then just pop your email address and I'll send it straight to your inbox. And then you can print it for A5, and then again, the PDF is for an A5 size or an A4, but all you got to do, if you have other planner size that's, you know, of similar dimensions, so it can't be for, you know, like a personal, unless you go and, you know, customize it or tweak it in, you know, an Adobe or in Canva. But really all you got to do is just change the paper setting in your printer, and then change the paper size. And then sometimes if it's doesn't fit right, if it's too small or if it's too big, then you can customize and then just change the percentage. That's what I'm trying to say. So Pink says, I'm very guilty of doing this. I need to prioritize my self-care. And and see, a lot of the times when, you know, on what we see on Instagram or on Pinterest, that self-care is the, you know, the salon, the bubble baths, but self-care is, first of all, you know, planning, embellishing your cover pages, and cutting. It's like, get back to your fun days, you know, get back to creativity. And well, being creative, of course, is really good for your mental well-being as well. Okay, we're going to see if this works, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Let's make some room, Marianne. Clear the area. Clear the workspace. Okay, so there's my September. Oops, and then there's, make sure I have the pages correctly. So we got, let's evenly, that one. Okay, so the E is in the middle. Make sure I've got it right. September. So maybe I have to put E here. And then this is when you can go and I cannot pick it off the table because my nails are too short. That's when the tweezers come in. And then you can go and space them evenly. So now you could easily go, Marianne, why didn't you just write it down? Yes, I could have written it down. But sometimes what's the fun in that? Okay, so that looks like it's evenly spaced. And look, even placing them like that, in different angles, it doesn't have to be perfectly, up and down. That looks like it's even enough. September. Okay, and if you did want to write it down, a little trick, if you did want to just write it down, is write it on a piece of paper. Then, so let's say, let's do this. So then, because that's one of the ways that I do it is, if I just say write it September, oops, pretend that that's evenly spaced. I'll find the middle of that, and then I will find the middle of my page, and then I'll go, all right, if I'm writing it like this, I will start the S here and then follow. Well, of course, that will probably not in the middle there. Okay, and then just follow. And then that's if you wanted to write it directly on your planner page. So let's just, look, that looks pretty even. Yes, that looks pretty even. I keep thinking I'm spelled it wrong. September. Nope. The glue I'm using is this Tombow mono liquid glue. It's double-sided, so one end is sort of like this little rubbery sponge. So then for a wider space that you need to glue, or you have more precision. So I'm probably going to use this one. So I'll try not to move any of the other ones. I'm going to use the back of this spare. Try not to blow everything, and then just glue it. Again, you can even do something like this for a greeting card, So instead of, sometimes greeting cards nowadays, they're like $7.95, $10.95. I mean, I'd rather use that money for a gift, and then you can make your own card. Ow. Just my hand spasmed a little bit there. Okay, so S, glue it down. Hello, Zach. My son is awake. Had his nap because he got up early.
You finished recording?
No, baby. Mum's still on. And so he had a nap this afternoon because he gets up early for his soccer. So they get up early for soccer. So my husband's the one that takes him to soccer. And then I have a nice little sleep in. But then again, I sometimes I'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think the other day I did that the most recent live stream, 3 a.m. because I was up for one of my online course, and so I thought, you know what, let's go swap out. Whoops, too much glue. Let's go swap out my personal size planner, and then here we go, September. Okay, so yeah, you can do this as well. Remember, if you have wooden stamps, alphabet wooden stamps, and then if you have different colored ink, this will be also great. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to be setting up anyway. The only thing that sometimes stops me from going live is, my son. I don't want my son, the younger one, to be confined to the room his room, and if mum's, you know, doing her YouTube, because, you know, he's entitled to share, to be out here, and he loves eating. He's eating us out of house and home. And so sometimes when I'm doing my videos, I'll be like, Zach, mum's doing her video, can you go in your room? And then, yeah, and then if he's confined to the room, then, you know, because he's on the autism spectrum, so if that's normally out of his schedule, he doesn't get to enjoy the freedom to just come out whenever he wants, because, you know, mum's doing her YouTube stuff. Okay, and last one, and then I think I'm going to go and outline it. Again, this might be a little bit more steps than normal, but hey, for me, it's a Saturday evening. This is what I do nowadays on a Saturday. Because normally if I'm with my hubby and I go out, my older son will look after Zach. But now he's 18. All of his friends are turning 18. So there's so many birthday parties that he's going to. So look what I'm going to do here. Pink has a daughter on the spectrum as well. How old is she? So yeah, so for Zach, so this one is the, focus, 0.5 gel pen in a Muji gel pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline my letter. Again, it doesn't have to be precise. You just want it to pop on the page. So then that way, especially if you're using, you know, a lighter colored ink or markers, and then that just gives it. She's 14. Oh yes, teenager. So yeah, so sometimes I, you know, if Zach is having challenging moments, I don't know if it's due to the, you know, his different abilities, or if it's, you know, teenage hormones. Sometimes I have to go, all right, he's not, you know, he probably is not being a pest because of the different abilities he has. He's probably just being a pest because he's just a normal 16-year-old, you know, what typical teenage boys go through. September. So yeah, we homeschool him. So my husband is the one doing the homeschooling full time. So we started homeschooling him in May of 2019, when there were some challenging behaviors at school that, you know, he was in a mainstream school with in a support class. And yeah, just some challenging behaviors that they were not able to support him. And you know, more often than not, we were getting called into the school to get him. And so I didn't want my son to go through, you know, imagine going through your day, having difficult moments and not being able to cope. So we didn't know how to homeschool, you know, but you figure things out like most things in life. And this is the funny thing. Well, not funny, but in my head, you know, when it comes to other things, when I talked about, you know, wanting things to be perfect for a lot of things that I want to do, and I have that fear of, oh, if it's not right properly at the beginning, you know, I don't want to release it, or I don't want to, because I have, you know, that fear of, oh, what will they think? What if it's not right? What something goes wrong? But then when it comes to my son and, you know, my other son and being a parent, we figure things out as we go. So why sometimes do we put that limitations on ourselves when for our own dreams, or, you know, any aspirations that we have? Why, for those of us who you know, have named ourselves perfectionist. And really, the perfectionism, it comes from what I've been starting to learn, you know, for myself, is it comes from a place of fear, right? Fear of not knowing what we're doing, fear of being judged, fear of being ridiculed, fear of what if it fails, right? So well, for me, I used to, you know, disguise it as, oh, I'm a perfectionist. And it's like, no, Marianne, maybe it's just a fear of that, you know, if it doesn't go right, that you may feel like you have failed. So let me see, I'm just looking at September. So said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. So it goes till Tuesday, September. Okay, so I'm just going to use my color dot markers to go and do my dates. And so I'm just doing the rainbow colors, or red, or in this case pink, Roy G. Biv, okay, and then green, doop, 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 doop. And then when you know, you put down your dots, you're going to make the noise. Doop, 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 doop. Hey, you know, you got to infuse fun and joy into your day, especially when, you know, sometimes, well, most times, days are challenging. Let's have a look. My daughter was diagnosed at 4 years old. Yes, same as Zach. So thankfully, she was able to get support in her early years at school, and now attends a school just for children with additional needs, which has really helped. That is wonderful. Isn't it wonderful when, yeah, we have the support from our community. And so that's really, I'm really happy for you, because, yeah, I know how much getting the right support for them, how important it is in their development. So 1, 2, 3. So this is the not so fun part, as in, well, you know, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got to say it out loud, or else 13, 14, or else I know my numbers. I'll write somewhere my numbers wrong. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Excellent. All right, so there's my September calendar. Now, I did have these little post-it note tabs. I bought these from Daiso here in Australia. I mean, Daiso now are, you know, are global as well. So I know a lot of the US viewers have them as well. So before I started writing on my, or setting up my September planner page, I had written that. So I want to go and embellish the bottom of this spread. So will this fit? Yes, it will fit. So this is part of the Filofax. I think it's Good Vibes. But yeah, they have this washi tape. So I'm just going to go and line the bottom. And then, so this one is the Hobonichi Basic Stencil. So I like to use that to cut the edge of my washi, because it has a nice little jagged edge. So again, just adding pops of color to your planner page, especially if you love color. You know, for me, with if color, you know, may just be one tone, monotone for you, aesthetic, whatever is aesthetically pleasing to your eyes, do that. So if it's only like, I wonder if I can then actually continue that over there. Let's do that. Maybe let's go and continue the washi over at the top. Yeah, because normally I would do September on one side and then washi on the other. But then I thought, you know what, let's do something different for September and keep the heading in the middle. All right. And then the other thing that I could do as well, so if you have a notes section on your calendar spread, which color can I do? Maybe yellow. Where is my yellow? I like to just go and highlight every second line. Okay, just to add a little bit of color to the edge. Okay, there we go. And then maybe I'm going to use the aqua or teal and then put notes. So I like to use the little notes section on my calendar spread for what am I trying to say? What are you trying to say, Marianne? For non-specific date things I'd like to do for the month of and then that way I don't forget it. So if it's not for a particular day, then I will go, okay, that is something I want to address or look into for the month of September, but it's not, you know, I don't have to do it by a certain day. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop this back. I'll add them in a bit later. So then any known, so 7th of September is Father's Day. And then I've got that one. So I'll add on here off camera all the known dates, when bills I need to pay, when I do my YouTube live stream, you know, when I have to go and do my newsletter, any of my online courses, my Zoom meetings, my plan with me, my brain dump. So first Sunday of each month on my YouTube public channel, I do a brain dump and weekly reset. But in my private membership, we do it on a weekly basis. And so a lot of times having accountability partners or co-working with others will help motivate you, you know, do it rather than leaving it, because it's always fun to do it with other people. Okay, so that is so far. What have I done so far? I have set up my goals based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life, 7 key areas of focus: mental, physical, spiritual, home, finance, career, and social. So a lot of these goals and habits and routines are small, actionable steps that I can do on a daily basis or a consistent basis throughout the week. And then on the other side of that is a mid-month check-in, which I'll fill in based on how I'm going for the first half of the month. So if I need to go and, you know, pivot or review, or maybe if certain goals are too much for me, depending on my workload, I may have to, you know, pause it and leave it for another month. A mid-month check-in is always good when it comes to your goals. Don't leave it till the end of the month. If, you know, if there's something that you can do, because I know for me, I've been guilty of it. If I drop the ball on a habit that I've been said I want to do, and then I'll just go, I'll start again on the, you know, or in October or the next month. It's like, no, you can pick it up again from the next day. It's okay to drop the ball and miss days. What it isn't okay is if you say to yourself, something is important, something is of a high priority, and you want to make sure, let's say for your health, you know, and getting yourself outside and moving is important for your health and physical well-being, then you got to make sure, what can we do for the second half of the month that will make it easy for us to achieve the goals we've set for ourselves. So then there's September, and then we just did our calendar spread. So that's looking, I'm really enjoying so far. And for me, I love color. It just makes me happy. And can I tell you a secret? The reason why well, rainbow colors is so vibrant and it gives you a nice pop of color. I like to use the rainbow colors, the Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. In my case, it's pink, and then the last one is teal. So I've sort of color coordinated it with my zebra mild liners. Is because I don't have to think too much of what color or what themes to have, because it's just like, let's just do the rainbow colors. Sometimes I might change it up, based on, I'll pick colors based on the washi tape that I want to use for the week. But normally at the beginning of the month, pop of vibrant colors really make me happy. Okay. So look, I'm going to be here a while because it is Saturday night, 8 p.m. here where I am. And I have to set this up anyway because, of course, Monday is the 1st of September. So, hang out with me. If you have to step out and come back, you can do that. That's okay. Or you can, of course, watch it on replay. But do me a favor. If you are going to be leaving for a little bit and you have so far enjoyed this live stream and got some ideas, make sure to hit that like, thumbs up button. That lets me know that you are enjoying this, and it also tells YouTube, hey, maybe other planners would also love Marianne's content. So you're going to help me a lot by liking and sharing. Okay, so the next thing that's part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable bundle is a habit tracker and mood and sleep tracker spread. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take it out. The reason why is because I have the notebook there and it's not sitting flat. So once I've done all the embellishments of the planner pages that I do have that I'm setting up for today, I'll do a nice little flip through so you can see the different, because I've got some fun planner pages in there that I haven't shown for a while, and I haven't been using it, and I went, I need to infuse more fun and fun stuff in my planner pages. All right, so what are we going to do for the habit tracker? Let's go to the good old zebra mild liner. By the way, none of this video is not sponsored. These markers, pens, highlighters, I have used, since 2017 when I started bullet journaling in an A5 dot grid Luxton 1917 notebook. And so, inspired by, many different bullet journals, Amanda Rachel, right? And other many planner accounts. So now, what are we going to do here? September. Will I fit September? Yes. And then this one, instead of doing Roy G. Biv, I'm just going to mix it up. Let's mix it up. And just make sure that similar family colors aren't together. All right, so here, just good old September. See, now you can write it all in one color if you want. Again, whatever pleases your eye. September. You know how when you write something over and over, it starts to look funny. Uh-oh. Will I run out of September? No. Will I run out of space? No. Just. Okay. Again, this time for the smaller letters, I like to use the 0.38 gel pen because then it's not going to be so bold and thick. So habit trackers is really a great way for you. It could be your habit tracker could be your little list of things to do, because the last thing you want to do is, if you have a habit that is not yet established and it's not, it's not yet habitual, that you no longer have to think about it. You know, things like brushing your teeth, showering, you know, exactly. You don't have to think up, oh, how do I shampoo my hair again, right? So a lot of those things are habitual. You no longer have to be consciously thinking of the different steps to take to go and remember. So a habit tracker, first of all, is a great prompt, a great list to go, you know, what's the next thing that I need to do? And also, because this one, it's a 31-day habit tracker. So it is a great visual for you to see how well you are progressing in the habits and routines that you're doing. So you checking off completed habits will help motivate you to keep going. And also, if you do miss, you know, days, it is going to, you know, prompt you to pick it up again. And also, the great thing is you'll start to see your own patterns. So you'll see that maybe at the beginning of each week you don't do as well. So then, or you know, mid month. I know for me, I'm great at the first week of the month. Second and third week, not so much, and then the last week I pick my, you know, habits and routines back again. So here at the top, I'm just going to write the initial of each day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So then I just know when. So if I do have missed days, I can quickly spot, all right, and see patterns. It's like I can see every Saturday that I don't get to do a certain habit. So maybe I may have to go and, you know, review. What am I trying? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me finish this or else I will get it wrong. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Excellent. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to separate the weeks again, so then I can block it. You know, I'll be able to see when one week finishes and another. So then I just will do dash line in between the Sunday and the Monday. Again, this little thing here, making dashes and dots or lines, mindfulness activity. I mean, for me at the moment, it's not so mindful because, well, actually it is mindful, but it's sort of like because I'm talking at the same time, I'm focusing on two things, you know. So then Sunday, Monday, again, just get yourself a little ruler and whatever pen color you want. So for me, I'll just the red Muji in 0.38 will just stand out a little bit more on the black grid. All right, let's keep going. So let me know, for those of you either here on the live chat or if you are watching on replay, hello, nice to see you. Don't be shy, make sure you say hello in the comment section. And if you are new here to my channel, let me know where you are tuning in from. I love that I have so many different plannerettes. That's what I call my lovely viewers, the plannerettes. Plannerettes, I think it was one of my viewers from a couple of years ago, you know, we sort of came up with plannerettes. So like that signifies a little bit of, you know, we're new to it, even though we're probably planning for a while. You always learn, you know, you're always learning. And plannerettes is like a nice little a term of endearment for us, rather than just planners. We're the plannerettes, okay? Now, I could leave it at that, but what I like to do, which is one of the things I love doing, dots. Dots just make you happy, don't they? So just grab any color. Now, the great thing with the Kuretake Z Clean Color Dot Marker is, depending on the pressure you put, the pressure you press the little spongy end, you can make different size dots. So light pressure, light dots, medium, medium dot, heavy. Just be mindful that because it is quite a pigmented marker, if you use a thin paper, so this one I like to use 120 GSM, I think, which is a 32-pound paper, there is less ghosting. See how you can't see much of the blue? So just make sure if it's an 80 GSM, which is your normal copy paper that you would normally print on a printer, it is thin. So if you use pigmented markers or fountain pens, you will get what's called a bleed through. So that's when the ink seeps to the other side of the paper, or ghosting. So as you can see, I think, what's that? That's glue. I don't know if that's not ghosting. I think that's from this side of the, but you will see how you can see that blue there. So that's light ghosting. So if you don't like, the mark of your pens or highlighters on the other side, and then that might irk you, make sure you get thicker or thicker paper. So GSM is gram per square meter. So if you can think of, bed sheets, what do they count? What's the count? Something count per square meter for bed sheets, because it's the weft and the whatever the other side is. So the higher the count, thread count, there it is, the thread count, that means there's more thread per square inch. Right, so that means it's thicker, it's softer. So if you can think of gram per square meter when it comes to paper, it's the pulp of paper. You know how when you see these lovely people that make paper pulps, like they'll blend recycled paper and then make it into a pulp, blend it, and then they put it through some sort of sieve. So the grams per square meter is more pulp per square meter, which is thicker. So then that way it's much sturdier. So cardstocks and cardboard, they have more pulp per square meter, so for grams per square meter. So if you ever go, what does GSM stand for? That is what it is. So the higher the number, the thicker the paper. So for me, I go up to about 160 GSM, but sometimes if you have a smaller planner, the thicker the paper means, you'll have, it can get quite thick. So if you 10 individual paper will be, if it's a thinner, smaller GSM, will be thinner. But if it's thicker, then your planner will start to get bulky. So I don't like using too heavy paper on smaller size planners, because then it gets too thick. It's harder to turn your pages. Bear with me, I'm just going to put myself on mute. Okay, so let's go back. So as I said, the Kuretake Zig Clean Color Dot Marker, and then I'll just randomly create dots on the border of my page. Okay, that looks good. Let's put some yellow, and then just randomly. So it's like little confetti. Happy, right? Happy colors. Am I on screen? Yes. Happy colors. So this is an easy way to add and infuse fun and color to your planner pages. And what is it? Yep, you guessed it. Another mindfulness activity, because you got to concentrate. You got to focus on the moment, because you don't want to be putting dots on top of another dot, and you want it to be evenly spaced. See, that one I went on yellow, right? So another wonderful mindfulness activity. So if you're one of these people that can get caught up in your own thoughts, I know I do, and you normally get caught up in your own thoughts and can't get out of your own head when you are tired, when you are burnt out, when you are overwhelmed. So that is why it is so important to take your breaks, to re-energize, to reset. Okay, I always say this, we look after our devices a lot better than ourselves. Okay, I bet you take your car for maintenance, you know, on a regular basis. Why? Because if you don't, it's going to break down on you. You need to get the oil checked. You need to make sure that the water is checked. You need to make sure the engine, right? That's the car's way of resetting, getting checkups. I bet you know exactly when your next car checkup is. Do you know when your next break and time off is? Like intentional. I'm talking about intentionally planning your self-care. You know, for a lot of us, we don't put it in our planner because we go, yeah, I'll do it when I'm tired, or I'll do it when I have time, or I'll do it when, you know, I've done everything else. No, we need to look after ourselves. You've heard it before. Oxygen mask on yourself first. You can't fill from an empty cup, you know? And it's true. And I'll tell you, for me, I was one of these that, yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? That was my mantra in my 20s and 30s. When you're 20s and 30s, maybe you can go for a while without resting and sleeping. You know how if you drink, you know, you don't have much of a hangover. You recover a lot better than how you do now in your 40s and 50s and 60s. Okay? We have to look after ourselves. Okay, so that's the habit tracker. I'll fill that out again off camera because then I have to, there's some new habits and routines, or I may have to go and move around my habits that's different from how I have set it up for August. Okay, so I may have to move things around. So I know I have to add my Pilates workout. So I'm starting Pilates. Again, just using an app on my phone. But I want to try and do that, you know, maybe at the beginning of the day rather than the end. Yeah, so some of these I may have to redo. I'll see. Because I have to go and review how well I did with my habits for the month of August, and then see, you know, what I'll need to do for September. So I'll do that off camera, but that is how I embellish it. Next, the mood and sleep tracker. So my mood, as you can see here in the personal size. So this one for my personal size is the, do I have it on here? Let me see. I think I do. So it's the personal planner bundle. So I'm still going to use my personal printable for September, but I'm moving the habit tracker into my A5 because then that way I would love to have this open on the desk. I've got a little stand, IKEA little one of those book stands that I can put my A5 planner. So instead of going, you know, because normally I'll have my personal size planner open on the day, all right, but then I'll forget to do my routines because it's not, you know, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So I thought, you know what, let's have my habit tracker on a separate that's always open, because this is going to be my prompts for the day of what I need to do next. But on here is the mood, and I have a little sort of like rating system, and I've just color coded them: green, great, orange, good, yellow, nah, neither here nor there, blue, I'm tense or anxious, and then pink, I'm sad or angry. So for the month of August, I was evenly, you know, regulated my emotions quite well, and I can see that based on getting myself outside for a walk, okay, doing my stretching, doing my push-ups. So there is a correlation on my mood based on the habits and routines that I have given myself for my self-care. So if you are finding yourself you know, your temper and your mood is all over the place, this is why self-care and looking after yourself, your well-being, whether that's mental well-being, emotional, physical, you know, catching up with friends, looking after your money well-being, because that's a big, you know, money is a big stressor, cause of stress. So if you find that your mood is up and down, then that is why self-care is important. It's one of the ways that it will help you regulate your emotions. Now, I learned for this how, because of my son who's on the autism spectrum. You know, routines helps his regulate his mood and regulate his sensory processing, knowing what's coming up, which is a habit tracker. Knowing what's coming up next helps you reduce the anxiety that can come up when you, for the unknown, right? Because our brain is always looking for order. Because if there's no order, if there is chaos, it thinks there is a threat. And so then the threat causes your heart rate to go up, your muscle to tense up because it's ready to fight, flight, or freeze. And so if you do find yourself, your mood is up and down, or you don't know whether you're going to be cranky mum or not today, then putting great habits for yourself is important. So I'm just going to pop in my mood coloring: green, orange. Now this is, you know, I know I've been asked in the past, you know, are you happy all day? Is everything good all day? No. The day is never just one feeling, one mood, or one temperament, but it's an overall, you know, overall, how did the day go? And my older son, when he was 8, and man, you learn from babes, you learn from the little ones, you know, because he, when I was doing my bullet journaling and he was 8, he goes, Mum, I think I want to do bullet journaling too, because he saw that, you know, I can add color. He's an artist, and then he can create his own little monthly cover page. Right. So he said, Mum, can I do bullet journaling too? So I bought him a, you know, a dotted grid, good, meh. And then I bought him, you know, the markers and everything like that. And so I said, do you want to also create yourself a mood log or mood tracker? And then he said yes. And so anyway, so we would, you know, we would have mum and son little bullet journaling session. And then I said, today was a tough day, you know, I was angry today, or I was anxious. And he's gone, yeah, Mum, but you were only angry for 5 minutes. But that was what I was focusing on, that, you know, whatever had set me off that day, I carried that throughout the whole day. And so I went, oh, you're right, you know, it was like, yeah, that moment was only for a fleeting moment, but I had forgotten all the good things that happened earlier in the day. So when it comes to my mood and I'm logging it, it's the overall. And it makes me now make sure not to focus on, you know, one little portion of the day being angry, anxious, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me just do this or else I get it all wrong. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Excellent. All right. And then I'm going to cross off the 31st. So, yeah, so it was my 8-year-old son at the time, or when he was 8, that reminded me that I shouldn't let, you know, a small portion of the day when I was angry or anxious to govern the whole mood of the day. So now I look for the good moments. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that is where later on after this, that is where writing down what you're grateful for, writing down your wins helps you focus on the positive things. Now, you know, I know we all have our different challenging moments. We all have different struggles. And, you know, a lot of the times it's, you know, it's unavoidable. Especially, you know, this time. So many things, you know, sad things happening, not just in our own backyard, but all over. And it can get you down, can't it? And but we have to look for the joy in the day. We have to look for the positive things, because that's what the brain will focus on. Have you ever noticed that, you know, if you're having a hard day and then you go, oh, what else could go wrong? It's like you're already anticipating something to go wrong, and probably something will go wrong. But if you expect it already, you braced yourself already for things to go wrong, and then you will brew on it, you know. You see, you see, I knew this would happen. And then you just be negative. And so I'm not saying that, you know, you ignore the harder times. You know, I'd rather not have hard times, but that's what life is, isn't it? You can't predict when the good times will be, but you do have control of the joy that you can put into your own life, and looking for this, you know, the little sparkles of joy and little sparkle of happiness. Okay, so I'm going to continue the little dot, 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 my dot, dot, dot. And so, yeah, so really try and I know sometimes, look, you know, it's easier said than done to look for positive things, but we can find it, you know. And a lot of times we're so trained to look only for the big grand things. Yay, you know, we got a new job, we got a promotion, you know, we got a new car, we have more money, we're going on holidays, all those grand things. And we forget the little things like, oh my goodness, this coffee tastes good today. Oh, I needed that drink today. Oh, I'm so glad I can turn the air conditioning on or the heater on if it's too hot or cold. Oh, thank goodness for clean clothes, and oh, thank goodness for nice clean bed sheets. You know, those little things. We take them so much for granted. What do they say? What did our mum say? You know, the children, you know, children are from the other side of the world are going hungry, right? So it's really important to look for the glimmer of hope and happiness. In my Plannerets Inner Circle, you know, we are giving ourselves permission to allow joy in even during the, you know, the hard times, the frustrating days, the overwhelmed days. You know, you can smile during hard times too. I remember when I was, how old was I? 75, 85, I think 13. Yeah, 19, I think in 1988. Can't remember anymore. But so my family's from the Philippines. So we moved to Australia 40 years ago. And so, you know, we have lots of family still in the Philippines. And then when my grandmother passed away, so I think I was 12 or 13. And so, you know, very sad moment. And then during the mourning period, my younger brother, so he would have been 8 or 9, And he played the recorder. How we have to play a recorder at school, and so he was practicing whatever song that he had to do for school. And I got really upset because I said, why is he playing a happy tune when we're supposed to be sad, or it's a sad moment. And then well, first of all, he was younger, and so he may not know about grieving and all that stuff. But I got upset because it's like, you can't be happy during a sad time. And then that's sort of like, that's been infused in my head, that you can only have one or the other. But no, you can still have great moments during sad times. And so it's really important that you find the tiniest little bit of joy and happiness in your day throughout the day, okay? Because then your brain will start spotting it more, will start seeing positive things. And then, yeah, so it may not solve things, but it may make things a little bit easier. And sometimes all we need is that little bit of help to just bring some joy in our otherwise overwhelming day. Okay, so let me pop this back. All right, so far, if you're just tuning in, what have we done? I have set up my goals for September in 7 key areas of focus. This one is a freebie that you can get. If you go back, let me see if I can go back again. Let's see if I can copy and paste. Copy and paste. Can I copy and paste? I wonder if I can do that. Oh, I can do it. I can drag it into the comments. All right, so there it is. If you want a copy of this printable, the September, and then you can embellish it, the link is in the live chat right now. And then there is my calendar spread, September. And then I just embellished my habit, mood, and sleep tracker with lots and lots of dots. Okay. Now, speaking of looking for wins of the day. So as part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable, so I'm just using a few of the pages for it, but I am taking, I'm using the victory log. So this is just a fun way for you to log your wins of the day, big and small. So we're looking at September 1st, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why I had to count that. Should be just 7, Marianne. Sometimes I don't trust my my counting. So there is no shame in counting things out. Okay, so this one I'm going to label it already. So this is a nice little way for you to log your mood. So log your win, and then embellishing it. So this could be, let's have a look. I can make the little bunting flag. So this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, let's do a nice little washi tape. Little there, 4. Whoops, 5, 6, and what's missing? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, 7. And so on Monday, at the end of the day, what I'll do is I'll reflect back on my day and write down a win. So this win could be big or small, maybe, I don't know, I sold something, or someone joined, or I got a lovely comment, or, you know, Josh, my older son, felt good about his exam because he's in the final year of high school. So this one here is a Tombow Dual Brush Pen in the N95. So it's a light grey. I just like adding a little bit of shadow to each boxes. So then it looks like it's popping off the page. So these little cute little doodle post-it notes or boxes is just a great way to highlight the wins of the day. Again, they don't have to be, you know, all the big stuff. I think I might want to, do I want to add anything on there? Maybe I'll go and snap off a washi, and then I'm going to rip it in half because it's too thick to go to the bottom of the page. So this is a great way if you don't have any skinny washi tapes and then you want to add some color to the bottom or even the top of your page, but then they don't fit. They don't fit the width of the area. So let me just stick that on there. And then the straight edge, you can go and line it to the bottom. Whoop. Let's flatten that out. And then on the other side. So then that continues for the full spread. So that's a great little way for you to embellish the bottom of your page. And if the thickness of the washi that you have is too thick, just then rip by hand. So then it has this nice little organic rip look to it. And this one I will go and embellish and add the date range when the week comes. So then there's something to look forward to. Sometimes I don't like to, you know, embellish the whole months because then what am I going to be left with, you know, to embellish? All right, so that's all that I will be embellishing and setting up for the week. So let me put all my stuff away so we have a lot of space. Now, of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, well, why not? If you have been watching, you know, if you've been here a while and watching a couple of my videos and a few of my shorts, or if you enjoy any of my planner printable, make sure you're subscribed. Again, it's one of the simple and easiest way to support my channel. And it tells me, because those of you who have watched any of my content, about 62% of you have not yet subscribed. I know I've had lots of new people who've subscribed, and thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. But if you haven't yet, hit that little bell as well, and then you'll get notified of when I do show up on live streams or when I have new videos. And of course, if you haven't yet liked and shared or liked the video, that will also be very, very lovely too. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so let me put everything away, create some room, you know, clean as you go, clean as you go. Whoops, sorry, I've just bumped the camera. And let's see. Now, if you haven't seen the planner swap that I did for my personal size planner, make sure you watch that after this. So I moved into the personal Filofax Croc Organiser in the color chestnut, and I also did a flip through of all these pages. So if you have a personal size planner and you just want a nice little sneaky peek, and because sometimes, you know, you can get some great inspiration that way when you see other people's planners. Bear with me, let me just drink my water because my throat and my lips are getting Isn't water so good? Cold water. Let me just go and put some. So this is Lucas Pawpaw Ointment, and it's really good for dried lips. I actually have a little cut inside of my lip And so I feel like I'm not talking properly, like I can't really open my mouth wide, because then the split inside really hurts. And so drinking coffee and water and eating becomes very difficult. Okay, so let me do a planner flip of what pages I'm going to have for September. So I'll make a note on the description, or I might even do a highlight video of the planner flip, because sometimes when you do watch such a long live stream, I know not everyone has, you know, the time to watch the full live stream. So I'll make sure that I somehow do a either timestamp or maybe just a highlight and create a separate video. So this is, let me just zoom out a little bit. This is the, thank you for the like, this is the Filofax Camden Organiser in the color olive. I was gifted this when I was a Filofax ambassador a couple of years ago. And so, you know, I get given Filofax products to experience myself and then share how I use it in my day-to-day planning. So I have also been given affiliate discount codes that you can use on their UK, US, and European site. So check the description below. I have 10% discount for leather items, 20% discount for non-leather, non-leather items. And then they also have what's called a personalization station, where you can customize the notebooks and clipbooks, personalize the planner inserts if you want to, you know, if you don't have a printer and you want to personalize the inside of the planner insert as well as the cover, you can put your name on it. So you get 30% for that. So it's Marianne 30, Marianne 20, Marianne 10. So if you like any of the Filofax, again, this video is not sponsored, and I have to go and share any of those, but I like them. I like the Filofax. I was a Filofax planner or user way before they reached out to me to become an ambassador a few years back. Okay, so Filofax Camden Organiser in the color olive. Let me show you what's inside. So in the inside pocket, you have the credit card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 credit card slots. And what I have on here are just the many various sticky note tabs that I have purchased along the way, that, you know, probably only used a few of them. But, you know, like many planners and stationery lovers, it's like squirrels, you know, it's anything glittery attracts. So anything washi tapes or sticky note tabs, and I also, they do make little great embellishments for little pockets like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4 different sticky note flags that's just on there, and a lot of these I think are from Daiso. And then on here I have what I call my do-it-yourself prompt card. So this is a I was going to say Filofax laminated, cut off laminated sheet with sticky note flags, and then I use a label maker. So these are prompt cards. So, you know, if I need reminders, what sort of things do I need, can I do for self-care? So you can do all your different favorite ones, because what happens is when you're in the moment of burnt out, overwhelmed, tired, you cannot think anymore, because your brain, the cognitive part of your brain where that's, you know, the decision making, shuts down, because it's in survival mode, because it's running on empty. So it just goes, nope, I'm not going to let you make any decision making. So these prompt cards are great to remind you of the different things I need to do. So this one is, you know, the things that I think this was for my Instagram post, you know. So on Mondays I share this sort of stuff. On Tuesday I do a flip through on all that stuff. Okay, so I will make sure to put the video in the description of how you can make this yourself using plastic sheeting cut to, you know, this is credit card size, the sticky note flags, and then putting using your label maker. to put the different labels that you want. This is a Filofax Ollie clip. That's just keeping that there because sometimes this slides in and out, but that's just a little embellishment. Right, so the Camden Organiser has two, well, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 like side pockets. Now these side pockets are great because if you want to put in an A5 notebook inside your Camden Organiser, this is a perfect place to slip that in. So this one is a A5 Muji lined notebook. So I'll show you in a sec what I use that for. I created my own little A5 notebook of my brain dump and my to-do list. And then this here is just a rubber, a traveler's notebook elastic band that, you know, can hold notebook inserts together. So I've just put that in the middle of, slid that in the middle of the A5 notebook, as well as the middle of this printed notebook that I created. And this is a regular size traveler's notebook, which is the Midori, traveler's notebook brand. Traveler's, what am I trying to say? Traveler's notebook? Yeah, traveler's notebook in the regular. And this is a blank calendar. So I've also just entered that in the middle. So this is, see how it's just joined together, okay, with the elastic band. So then that way I can have not only an A5 notebook, but also my little notebook that I created and cut out and stapled myself. So that's a great way. So those slip pockets. And then the great thing about the Camden Organiser is the ring mechanism slides out. So you've got this sturdy little plastic backing, which is, that's how the ring is connected to it, this charcoal ring, and this is 30 millimeters, so it can fit quite a few different planner pages. So if you wanted, you can just have A5 notebooks in a, you know, inserted in your what am I trying to say, in the Filofax. So you can have another notebook in there. And then because this part of the planner is quite wide, so you can have quite a bit of thickness inside, just like the A5 notebook, and then all my printables in this ring planner. And then when it closes, because you have such a big gap, things are not going to sort of like squish in together. And then the snap closure closes easily. Okay, so this helps keep all your, if you use a separate notebook, if you use ring-bound planner pages, this will help hold everything together for you, and it's thick enough to accommodate all that different planner system you have. And look, and then if you want an extra notebook in there, just grab yourself in the Travelers or A5 elastic band to then group all of this together. Okay, so let us have a look. So I probably may not be able to show you everything in Z because it's just note. So I use this Muji A5 line notebook for my notes. I'm currently taking an online course with Ali Abdal, the 1K challenge. So it's just, he has weekly live workshop sessions, and this is the notes that I take. And then I just keep it all in there. And then I like to highlight the dates with pink highlighter, the title of the workshop, and then the different sections of the course or, you know, module in purple. So then because I am a visual learner, if I do, and what I do with my notes, here's my little hack when it comes to notes. And I've done this even during high school and uni days, is my brain works better when it's things are in columns. So if I wrote my notes all in this wide space, visually I can't picture, because it'll be in big chunks. So when I go and write notes and write it in column sections like this, it narrows it down, and then I can picture that, oh, okay, you know, because I'm visual, and then that's why I do color coding, that, I know exactly where that note is, because it's, you know, visually it was like I can sort of like picture it in my mind, and so I can quickly jump to it nice and quick. So that's my little hack when it comes to note taking, is I divide the page in half and then start to write in a narrower column rather than a wider space. Okay, so that's where I use for my notes. And then here there's just some loose paper, and then this paper clip, I think it's the Midori brand, and then they come in various colors. I think there's about 12 in the pack. I think there's also like kitty cat, like a kitty cat, you know, pattern. Okay, so then it's a nice way to keep my notes. I think I like it this way. I'm going to have the flower on the outside. And then this particular notebook, I created it myself. So I printed it on A4 paper, folded in half, stapled it together. And so I just, well, this one here, I've glued it because I had printed it, and then I wanted to keep it in this little notebook. So I have my daily affirmations printable, my self-care bingo card, self-care brain dump guide, brain dump trigger list, and then brain dump printable. So so self-care, brain dump, trigger list, and printable, and I think a habit tracker is a freebie. So let me see if I've got that in. Yes, I think that one is there. Okay, it's the Calm and Clear Starter Kit. I put together the self-care bingo card. So if you ever go, Marianne, I don't know what kind of self-care activities to take when I'm planning ahead for my breaks. Well, girl, I got you covered, okay? I'll give you 25 different ideas. 1 minute deep breathing, go to a coffee shop alone, drink a glass of water, take 20 minutes for a nap, spend an hour in nature. So you cannot make any excuses that, oh, I don't know what type of breaks I should take. I made it easy for you. Yes, because I know how helpful it is to plan ahead the breaks, because we'll never ever know when we're going to be overwhelmed, when we're going to lose our mind, when we're just going to be sad, we're going to be frustrated. But if we plan ahead, we are helping our future self. You know, give ourselves that prompt and our break. It's got the brain dump guide. Again, if you follow me here on YouTube, first Sunday of each month, I do a live brain dump session. I walk you through how to do a brain dump, how to categorize it, and then how to use that to plan for the week. And we're only going to plan for the week, not worry about the following week or the month, because the less that's on our plate, the easier it is to manage, okay? And then there is also a brain dump guide. Now the running to-do list, that should also be in the underneath the description. I have all the different printables that I do sell in my shop. So the running to-do list is a free printable. Thank you for the freebie. You're most welcome, Sam. Is this your first time live? Well, if it is, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. So let's have a look. Let's see if I can do this for a sec. Let's see. Welcome to my live session and to my YouTube channel. Okay, so yes, it's so important sometimes, you know, to get little gifts. I love little gifts, and it's even better if it's something that can help us be intentional in our planning and to help guide us for those times it takes, you know, it's a little bit hard on ourselves. So for this notebook, I just printed those separately, or no, in a way that it's all one after another. But for the month of September, you'll see I've moved individual loose leaf. And again, this is a traveler's notebook blank calendar. Okay, so I like to keep that handy so then I know when my online course workshop Zoom sessions are. Okay, so next, the planner printable that I'm having and I'm using for the month of September. So a lot of these, the first ones are part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable. So it has the printable, has some of the pages you'll see here, but also Wellbeing Planner spread, weekly spread, and daily pages, enough pages for a full month. So if you're ever looking for, waiting for the ambulance or Yep. Waiting if you are looking for a new planning system that might help spark. If you're in a planning rut, make sure to check out my shop and my printable download. Okay. So Wheel of Life, Goals Tracker, a great way for you to see all the different goals you want to set for yourself for the month. You don't have to have 7. You can just focus on one thing at a time, especially when you already have a lot on your plate. The September monthly cover page is a free printable. Here's one I've been playing around with earlier. Okay, so it's blank and it just has the block letter and then the September, and you can embellish it whatever you want because color, fun, make sure you're adding that. There's the September calendar spread, habit, mood, and sleep tracker. So I embellished that. Victory log, important to log your wins of the day. The more you focus on what you're grateful for, what your the wins, the brain will start to spot them more for you. You know how when you go and if you've ever bought a new car or a car, a family car, and then suddenly you start to spot that car everywhere on the road. That's when, I remember back in this is going way back, 1989. I think 1989 was when we got a new, my mum and dad got a new grey Toyota Camry. And guess what? My brother and I, who's 4 years younger, suddenly started to spot Toyota Camrys on the road. I mean, it's not as if suddenly there were more grey Toyota Camrys. It's just because that's what we're focusing on. So if you focus on your wins, you'll spot more wins, okay? And then the other printable I have, I'm trying to make sure this doesn't glare, is my 90 movement challenge. So I had given myself a challenge at the 28th of June to get myself outside every day because I had my blood test done and my doctor said my vitamin D level was lower than low. It's because I isolated myself and just stayed home because I'm here in front of the camera all the time. I'm here at my desk all the time and I gave, it's too late. I don't want to go outside. So it's affected my vitamin D. So I needed to get myself outside. First 30 days, fantastic. Got myself outside each and every day. Next 30 days, missed, hit and miss. So now I've got to make sure I go and pick that back up as my habit for the month of September. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. I want to make sure I haven't missed anybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so this is my 90 movement challenge printable download. So that's another, I love habit tracking because it helps either motivate me to keep going or for when I do miss days to help me get back on track. Okay, so 90 movement challenge. Now this printable is part of my Planner Inner Circle private membership. I will open it back to the public again soon. I'm not letting perfectionism get in the way that I have to have everything all set up, have all the landing page, have everything set up, because we are doing, those founding members and the early bird access members are getting so much value from our weekly Zoom meetings, our weekly brain dump sessions, and the many different printables we use to help us move from overwhelmed, burnt out, stuck, stressed to clear, calm, and creatively inspired through intentional planning on paper and joyful self-care. Okay, so if you are wanting to join the wait list for that, let me see here. I'll just pop in. You can scan that QR code, pop your name and email address, and when I do open it back up to the public, you will be the first to know. And hopefully I can also maybe put some early bird perks there as well. Okay, so let's get back to, so this is the brain dump I was talking about, which is part of the Calm and Clear Starter Kit, which is in the live chat right now. And I'll make sure to pop that in also in the description. Okay, so this is a freebie. It's a guide. So if you can't turn up on a, hang on a tick. If you can't turn up on a live brain dump and weekly reset session with me, which is first Sunday of each month, follow the guide. It's got a brain dump trigger list. So this is, you know, if you go, I don't know what to write during a brain dump, you know, what are some house tasks you've been ignoring? What are meals you want to plan? What are things you keep putting off? What are habits you want to build or break? So there's a brain dump trigger list to help you trigger your mind. What's on the blank? And then this brain dump grid is a freebie. So then, as you can see here, this is where I write my brain dump. Okay, so all of this is part of a brain dump. And then we categorize it, we cross it off once we've written it down in our planner. Okay, so this is a step-by-step, and tell you what, it's one of the most powerful, you know, game changer in managing my overwhelm. Just because I plan each day and I have a planning content does not mean I am not overwhelmed. It is because I plan that, or it is because I'm overwhelmed a lot of the time that I need to plan on a daily basis and be intentional about it. Because, you know, not only being a mum of teenager boys, but also a, you know, a mum of a son who's on the autism spectrum, and also trying to be a content creator, and also trying to make sure I get, you know, new customers, new followers, new subscribers. It's a lot, you know, but I manage it, those anxious and stressful and moments, by planning and adding fun into my day. A running to-do list. If you go on my main channel, I think it's on my main channel, there's a running to-do list on how to use this. It's based on the Alistair method, where you just keep all your tasks and to-do for the week on one page. If you go, Marianne, my tasks and my to-dos for the week does not fit just on one page, that is where your overwhelm is coming from to begin with. Because if you have lots, you have to, it means you're not leaving breathing room for your breaks, for your self-care, for anything that shows up unexpectedly. So if you go, oh, my to-do list is 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm talking about just for the week. Any task and to-dos that you need for the next week, you don't need to look at those right now. Because if you're going to look, you're looking at them as well, you're managing things that don't need to be looked at until next week. So running to-do list. So that's in, check the shop, or underneath my description, you will have the little squares of where you can shop the running to-do list. So this again has helped reduce the overwhelm. I'm not saying it takes away the overwhelm. I wish, you know, you got to have a little bit of spice in your life by adding a little bit of, you know, stress and anxiety, because a little bit of stress is good because it keeps you on your toes, okay? Because it helps you, makes you look for things that's out of place. Because then if you're complacent, that's when accidents happen, that's when things fall through the cracks, right? So a little bit of stress is okay. Well, hello there, Cindy. Nice to see you, and the Plannerettes indeed. I appreciate you being here. It is a Saturday evening here in Sydney, Australia, 9 o'clock. This is the best way for me now to spend my Saturday evenings. Okay, so running to-do list. And then I've got a few blank ones in there. The self-care bingo, again, a freebie for you that's part of the Calm and Clear Starter Kit. Check the link, check the chat right now. It's just should be the link just before Angela's comment. This is also part of the Calm and Clear. I haven't used this for a while, but I might make a video of it since I my most recent podcast episode is how to create or build habits even when you're exhausted. I might do a little, show how to use this planner printable, but it is part of your planner printable. Okay, now I created most recently a new printable. Now this one is a little bit different because it comes with daily little video nice guidance or pep talk from me. Because if you ever have seen any of my videos or podcasts and goes, oh, I needed this today, I needed this reminder today, this Burnout SOS 7-day reset plan. So let me see if I can pop that one in the Burnout SOS. I think that's in there, right? That reset plan. Sometimes all you need is a reminder that you're okay. You're doing enough. And just doing the bare minimum is still a win. A lot of times we go, go, go. Don't stop at all because we've got so much on our to-do list. And what happens? We are forced to take a break, either by being sick, by being emotionally, mentally, or physically exhausted. And then that's when your brain shuts off and can no longer think for itself. So sometimes all you need is a reset. So instead of planning and writing all your tasks and to-dos, the Burnout SOS is just a great way to step back. You get a printable for each day. Each day has a theme, a reset focus, a positive affirmation to remind you that you need to give yourself kindness and permission to just do the best you can within the capacity and the energy that you have in the moment. And guess what? That is enough. And important to take a break, to be able to give yourself the permission to pause, because that pause, that break, that self-care is going to allow you to re-energize, reset, so then you can be better next day, and then your brain will switch off from survival mode, and then everything, all the lights get turned back on. Your decision-making part of your brain will get turned back on because it goes, whew, we've had a little bit of a nap, we've had a little bit of a break. And sometimes if you find yourself that the planning that you're doing isn't working, it may not be a plan that you need to do, it may be a reset. So I created the Burnout SOS because that was running theme that I was seeing from the comments that I needed to hear this today. So with each printable reset download, so this you get it sent to you straight away, and then each day you will get a video email to you that accompanies it. Because sometimes all you need is probably someone. So if you have ever enjoyed or gotten value from anything I said, and you don't mind this face and you don't mind the voice, and you don't mind the accent, and you don't mind the gentle nudge and the gentle reminder that you are okay, you are doing great, you are enough, right? If you don't mind that, then you might just need a Burnout SOS. So that's in the link. And then this printable, you have it forever. And you can do a reset and refocus each and every time. Replay the video again and again. So I have taken this myself. I have put this for myself because sometimes the plan that I give myself is too much. So I need to close the book on that plan and just strip it back. Strip it. So here you can see I did a brain dump. So whatever the theme is, it just gets you, and then you start to build your own habit and routine, and you get to have the skills, because sometimes we forget ourselves the skills we need because we're just so spent and we cannot think for ourselves anymore. So that in my A5, I have that, and I have my spare one. So anytime I just wake up and I go, I'm feeling lost today, I look at my planner and I look at my calendar and I look at my habit tracker, and I'm frozen. I don't know where to start. The Burnout SOS is a great guide. Okay. So then, by the way, all of these have their own little clear divided tabs that you can make yourself. Now, this one here is from a document envelope. You know those clear document envelopes that you put your pieces of paper in. I've cut them to size, to A5 size. I've cut them to, personal size. Or you can use laminated sheets. So if you've got a laminating machine and the laminating pouches, you can run that through a blank one through the machine, cut it to size, cut it enough so you can create little tabs that you can label. Again, if you put in the search, but I'll make sure I'll put in the description. So once I finish this live stream, I'll watch it back again, and I'll make sure to I'll watch let me quickly have a look. Where did I put it? I'll go and pop in the links in the description. So make sure you check the links. How to create do-it-yourself clear divided tabs. So I have videos on how to make it with measurements for A5, personal, as well as Happy Planner Classic. So if you want to make your own clear divided tabs like this, I like the clear ones because apart from the light glaring to you, but because then you can see both sides. So regardless of whether the divider is there, you can see both spreads. Okay, so where were we? Brain dump, running to-do list, burnout SOS. Now, I do have a cleaning list as well. I haven't been using it. Not that I haven't been cleaning my house. We only live in a small flat, but we just clean us, we go the vacuuming, we do on a Saturday, the bathroom and the kitchens. We, as soon as it gets, a little bit messy with two boys and all that, I just clean that along the way. But in the past, when I was also doing homeschooling, because my husband has taken over the homeschooling of our younger son. But when I was doing homeschooling, as well as, dabbling a little bit in my content creation, I needed to have a cleaning list. So then it didn't fall through the cracks. So then wouldn't have the house or the apartment looking messy. So I did have a cleaning list, but I haven't used it for a while. But if you need a cleaning list, again, that's in the shop for you. So there's enough little ones there. List of stuff. So based on David Allen's book, How to Get Things Done, the list of stuff is for any things that pop in your head that you want or need to do but don't know yet when, or don't know the task or the outcome or what it would look like. The list of stuff page is a great way for you to park those ideas on paper, so then it's not taking up space in your head, because David Allen says, your brain is not meant to store information. It's not a filing cabinet. It's for you to be creative and all that stuff. So take it out of your head, down on paper, and then it's a great trusted system that you can go back to and go, it says here, read, if there's any books that I want to read, I'll write it down so then I don't forget the name of the book and the author, and I'll have it there. Now, this is not filled in because originally I did have, throughout the years when I've moved planners, I have the list of stuff for personal, as you can see here. I also had the list of stuff in a notebook. Okay, so what I do with the list of stuff is, traditionally, I haven't done it again for a while because these are not top priority. It's just a way for me to write it down so I don't forget. But when I do check it, I look at each. So this here is buckets or categories. So I've color coded it. I think it's pink is me stuff, orange is YouTube stuff, yellow is Instagram stuff, green is, you know, product and printable stuff. Teal is, I think, for my membership. Blue is for the boys. And then purple is for my family and home. So I categorize things that come up, you know, videos I want to make. So I'm put a little dot. See how there's a little dot for the orange. So then I would go through this on a regular basis, have a look at each bucket or each category and see, is there anything on there that I want to action for the new week or for the month? And then once I've completed it, I highlight it. So it's a really great way for me not to forget anything. So I have to go and fix this and, you know, keep it onto one page. So yes, I do change my mind where I keep it. So now I may be back to the A5 hole punch, you know, 6-hole punch version. And so either I rewrite it again, I'll just keep it on here so then I don't lose it. So then when I check it, okay, then the projects list, again, based on the How to Get Things Done methodology by David Allen, he considers any tasks that have more than 2 actionable steps. It is a project. So things like getting your car, you know, to the getting maintained, it's more than 1 step, right? Because you got to go find the phone number, you got to call, you got to book the time, you got to put the car. So anything that has more than 2 actionable steps is considered a project, because a lot of the times we don't do. If you have any task on your planner that you move from day to day, week to week, month to month, it's because it's too big a task. You haven't broken it down into small actionable pieces that you can go and tick off one at a time. Because we sort of think we got to complete it all in one go, you know, but no, you can go find the phone number today. You can call tomorrow. You can go bring the car another day. Okay, so that's a projects list. And then that is a great way to break down big tasks, especially if you have any tasks that you have been procrastinating. It's just because you either don't know what next to do, or it's just too big. So projects list. And then the other one is a someday maybe. So anything that's not in the immediate future. And then the future log, I have to create a new one for the new year. So the future log, as the name suggests, is a log for you to put down any events, bills, you know, whatever, birthdays that are not within the current month. Because I do not have dated planners, as in I have to go and, you know, create one each and every month. I don't have, if something comes up for October and I haven't set up my October page, the future log is a great way for me. As you can see, all these dates. Okay, so let's say I get invited to a party for October. I will write it down in my future log. And so then when I, as you can see, September, there's not a lot happening in my September. There's no family birthdays. I may have to put some, maybe my son's exams, but his exams have finished. So then when I plan for that month, I will refer back to September. So since there's nothing on there, there's nothing that I need to migrate to my September calendar. So I'll make sure I go and create a new future log for the new year. Okay? And then coming up, wow, I've been on live for 2.5 hours. But you know what? This is what I would have done anyway on my own time. So I thought, you know, if you can pop in, fantastic. And if you can watch if you are going to watch this on replay, where I'm chatting along, you know, we could be together while you plan your own planner pages. Fantastic. The other printables I have, I've got a nice Polaroid tracker. So you can use this for anything. If you're maybe wanting to lose weight, if you have an Instagram or a YouTube channel, anything that is measurable, any habits or things, maybe debts, you know, maybe break, you know, you've got a starting debt of 10,000 and then it goes down because you're paying that off, or if you're having savings. I think I had one for I thought I had one for my no, I mustn't have moved it. Oh, these are just, oh, because I've skipped. Why did I skip all the pages? Oh, I know why. It's because I've got the bottom tabs at the bottom. Okay, after the someday maybe, I have the TV shows tracker. So I have just updated this because I'm starting to watch Project Runway season 21 and the Great British Sewing Bee. And so I just go to Google and get an image of, you know, the poster for whatever the show is, and then I just measure, you know, the width and the height of these little TVs. And then on my Word document, I just copy the image in a Word document, and you can manipulate the size, you know, the width and the size. I print it, and then I go and glue it on my little TV shows tracker. And then I just highlight, do little dashes around how many episodes per season, and then I'll color it in once I watch the TV. So again, check out my shop. It's available there. TV shows tracker, available in A5, Happy Planet Classic, and Letter. So then there, and this is again another great reminder for me to be intentional with my TV watching, because at the moment I'm just scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, doom scrolling, and I'm just going through it and everything. Ali, hello, 8:20 in Buenos Aires. So I'm joining while I have some breakfast. Hope you're having a lovely breakfast. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate. Is this your first time on the live? I think this is the first time that I have seen your name and avatar, because if it is, well, you deserve a wonderful welcome, and I thank you. I thank you so much for, putting a little bit of your precious time to go and join me while you are having your breakfast. Thank you so much, Ali. I hope I'm saying your name right. Okay, so TV shows tracker, like I said, be intentional with my time on screen and enjoy the shows that I like. And then the movies tracker. So I actually have, here's my old ones, my old TV shows. So I watched The Big C, Matlock, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So that's how I've completed one. Well, I don't think I have to watch the rest of The Big C season 2, and I don't know if I watched. So I might pop them. I think I finished watching Mrs. Maisel. I might pop them in there because there's some TV shows I haven't finished watching this season. Okay. And then movies tracker. I haven't watched a movie for so long. Here's one, The Wicked, back in December. I rewatched Rain Man in February, so I'll pop that there to remind myself, Marianne, take yourself out for a movie. Okay, so books tracker. Actually there, okay, I'm still yet to finish. I think I'm the last bit of the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, but I am reading, which is one of my goals for this month with my mental well-being, is to read Lean Learning by Pat Flynn. So I have printed myself, again, just copied an image of Google, and then I pasted the image into a Word document. And then in Word document, you can change the width and the height of your image. And to know how the width and height of your image that you want to go and, stick it on, is just grab yourself a ruler and measure the width. So 2.4 or 24 millimeter by 3 millimeter. And then that's what I did, is I printed it on a blank Word document, double clicked on it, and then you can go and change the width and the height measurement. I remove, like, keep the proportion, because sometimes, you know, it'll keep the original proportion of your image. And then, let me have a look. And then I just go and glue it. So this is a Tombow double-sided glue. Okay. So the, what is it? Multi liquid glue. So one end is like fine tip, so then you can be precise, and then the other end is this wide chiseled rubber tip. Okay, so let me get my precision tweezers and then just add that onto my little book there. I don't know when I started that, but I did put it in the, I think I wrote inside the pages. So then that is my goal for this month. Not so much to finish, but to just read it, you know. So I've got to keep my mind active. And Lean Learning, Pat Flynn book, I had one from a workshop that Ecamm Live, you know, had a couple of months back. So Ecamm Live, not sponsored video, is the software that I use in my Mac to help me go live. And second time, and be able to pop your comments in the live chat just like this. Hi Faria, hi, how do you set up your goal in paper? As in this one, my goals tracker. So if you go back, this was the very beginning. I'll make sure to hopefully do a timestamp of each section to make it easier, because it is such a long live stream. Or I might even break up this live stream into sections, so it can be, you can watch it and it could be you know, each individual one. So how do you set up your goal in paper? So yeah, I went back. So if you go back, I talk about how I set goals in 7 key areas of focus based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life. So the 7 key areas in no particular order: mental, physical, spiritual, home, finance, career, and social. And I went through how to create small, actionable, doable steps and routine that you can do either on a daily basis or a regular basis, so then you're not overwhelming yourself. And then all I do is I will put all those different individual habits on my habit tracker, just like I did for the month of August in my personal size. And then I go off this during the day and go, all right, what's the next thing? Oh, I got to go read my book. Oh, I got to learn. I got to connect with loved ones. And then this helps me remind me, so then I don't have to remember it. Because remember, our head is not meant for storing. It's not a memory. It's not a filing cabinet. It's for you know, being creative and all that stuff. So that's my books tracker, again in the shop, or it should be underneath the description, so if you want to check that out. And then the other one here, I've stopped doing my 52-week savings challenge. So the basis of the 52-week challenge is, so 52 weeks is, you know, a year's worth. So every week you would save up a particular dollar value. So you can either go in chronological order. So week 1, save $1. Week 2, save $2. Week 3, blah, 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 until you get to 52nd week, which is at the end of the year. Or, you know, you don't have to start in January, by the way, the great thing with the 52-week savings challenge. So at the end of, on the 52nd week, save $52. And if you do that, you would have saved $1,378. This printable also comes in pounds, I think in pesos, and I think in euros as well. Oh. So there we go. I just got a lovely sale there. Okay, so then, or you can go in reverse order, because a lot of times I start my 52-week savings challenge at the beginning of the year. And when it gets to the end of the year, which is Christmas and my birthday and my son's birthday, we normally don't have any money left. So, you know, if you want to start reverse order, so the beginning of the year, week 1 save 52, week 2 save 51, and then the final week save $1. But what for me, I don't like going in chronological order. I just do a random number. Normally I would do, there is a website called Wheel of Names or Random Number that you can put all these value in, and then it spins, and then I'll just pick a random number, and then that's what I would say. But I had stopped that for a little bit because yeah, there was not enough surplus funds to do this week 52-week savings challenge, so I might pick it up again. All right, so there's that one. And then the other things that's on here, I had purchased oh, there it is, there's my Polaroid. Is that from the Polaroid? Oh no, that's at the back. Okay, so I had purchased the Budget Moms savings challenge. So each month she has fun savings challenges, you know, for January, whatever it is. I won't be able to show you because, of course, it's a copyright proprietary of the Budget Mum. If you want to have a see it, I think it's only $10. So if you want to focus on saving money for September, go grab it, because then you know, each month there's different little challenges, and then you can save up, because sometimes, a lot of the times when it comes to habits and goals and things like that, you sort of like can get bored if you're doing the same thing over and over again. And that's why it's so important to infuse some fun into it. Okay, and what else is there? And then the final thing at the end is I've just had these little different hand lettering fonts. I actually have a video of how I created these different fonts. So then if you want to, you know, just add a little bit of fun and, you know, have different headings for your calendar, for your habit tracker, or any of your weekly spread, I show you how to create the bubble lettering, this misaligned sort of things, and everything else. Hello, Susan. How are you? Starting my day with you, 7:30 a.m. here in Florida. How are you? Nice to see you. I appreciate. Yes, I thought, you know what? I had to set up all my A5 planner pages, and while we're at it, I might do a planner flip through. So and then I showed what's inside my Filofax A5 Camden Organiser, and so all of that. And so I'm really looking forward, because in August I moved into a personal size, and I kept everything in personal size. But what I found was, having the habit tracker in here, I kept having to, because I go by my daily spread, I plan on a daily basis. And so if I have this and I have it open to, you know, mark down and complete the task I've set for myself. Look, I had a win, Susan. I did a Pilates workout. Woo! Yay! Yay! Because I needed to go and do some workout. What I found, having it open here, that I would forget to go and look at the habits and routines I had for the day. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to have my A5 open all the time on my habits tracker to help remind me, Marianne, what's next? Come on. Instead of procrastinating on the couch and doom scrolling and then letting the day get away from me, and so everything like that. So with that in mind, my lovely plannerettes, how long have I been on? 2 hours and 47 minutes. I think I need to have something to eat. It is now 9:30 p.m. here in Sydney, Australia, on a lovely Saturday evening. I do hope that you have enjoyed watching my planner setup for September, my goals tracker, my calendar, my habit and mood tracker, as well as my victory log, and then doing a lovely flip through so you could see exactly what I keep in my A5 Filofax Camden Organiser. I appreciate you. Please, if you are wanting to join the plannerets in a circle and you want to join the wait list, do not forget there's the QR code over there. Scan that, or I'll make sure to pop it in the description as well. It is really been a wonderful community so far. We have weekly Zoom meetings, we have weekly brain dump sessions, and we check in with each other, celebrating our wins, sharing our struggles, and just having fun along the way, and knowing that we are not alone in this journey of ours. Whether you are, cruising through your day-to-day life, or you're having a little bit of frustration, anger, sadness, overwhelm, burnt out, I want you to know that you are not alone. We are here for you, the plannerets in a circle. So hopefully, good old Marianne's perfectionism does not get in the way, and have a wonderful time, opening it up very soon. So again, there's my shop. Right, there's the QR code, but it should be under this description, majority of the planner printable that I showed you. Do check that out if you just want to, take one piece of planner printable. There are few of them that are standalone. You don't have to buy the ultimate planner bundle printable if you just want to taste test a few of those things. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.